Hey y'all, Yuritsa here. As you know, if you saw my Sugar Muses unboxing video, sorry, spoilers, I got the Shadowscapes tarot yesterday and I have been waiting patiently to open it until I had a little bit better lighting. As you can see, I haven't even taken the plastic off, and so we're just gonna look through all those cards together. There's a couple dogs barking outside. Hopefully it's not too like loud and annoying for you, but anyway, yeah, so this is the Shadowscapes tarot. I don't know what packaging would look like normally, you know, if you just bought direct from whatever sites they're available on or in a store. Because I got this in a witchy subscription box, this is how it came for me. I do have to say I always love this type of box as opposed to the flimsy cardboard ones that kind of tear immediately. So I'm going to take a box cutter to this and we'll get started. All right, you guys, plastic is off. Cool. So got this little booklet. Just realized I never read the back of the box out for you guys because I read it out loud in that other video. So in case you can't read that, it says, find your inspiration as you leap into a fantastical world of floating mermaids and dancing fairies with this mystical deck based on the Rider-Waite system. I'm gonna butcher her name, I'm sure, but Stephanie Poimon-Law's exquisite artwork blends Asian, Celtic, and fantasy themes inspired by fairy tales, myths, and folklore from cultures worldwide. Also included is a pocket-sized booklet with snapshot interpretations of the card's symbolic meanings by the artist and unique spreads by award-winning tarot expert Barbara Moore. So this is that booklet that is referring to. I'm not gonna look too deep into that now, but maybe we'll come back to it later. And then we've got these beautiful looking cards all wrapped up. So let's take that plastic off. As you can see, the backs of these cards are just absolutely gorgeous. It's not even really a complaint because most cards do this, but I do prefer card backs where I can tell immediately if the card is reversed or upright, just so I can make sure they're all in order, because I do not read reversals personally, but I love purple and no real complaints. Just a little preference. I love that back so much. The cardstock feels really nice and sturdy. It's a little shiny on the side, which is fine. Let's take a look at those cards though. All right, first we have the Fool. There we go. She is so beautiful. There's so much like little detail going on. She's got that tattoo of the sun on her foot. This little winged monkeys holding heart, rose, butterfly. There's so much going on. I could probably spend like 10 minutes going over each card just based on this and a couple that I have seen. So there's our Fool. Magician. I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about the face paint. It looks a little clown-like to me. And I'm terrified of clowns, so our High Priestess. I love how powerful she looks. The Empress. I love this card. This is one of the ones that I have seen before. Just all those butterflies, God, so beautiful. The Emperor. A little dragon looking thing in his crystal ball there, or orb, or whatever it is. The Hierophant, however you say it. And this is a card, if you don't listen to the Wildly Tarot podcast, I highly recommend you check it out. But this is another card that I looked at before because of them, because it's got this great imagery down here. You might notice where the spirit tree is touching, you know, this lizard. It's starting to turn it green and bring it to life. So there's lots of like little detail like that in all of these cards. And I'm so excited to see them all. We have the Lovers. I'm seeing that everyone is very pale and skinny and waif-like. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is what it is, I guess. This is gorgeous. I love this chariot a lot. We have Strength. I'm also a fan of this card. Not in the least, because we've got some kittens in there, plus of course the big cat. And the Hermit. I do like that there's a little bit of androgyny to this character. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. I like what they've done with her wings. Beautiful. We have the Hanged Man. This is the second time that I've seen that. Oh wow, and it took me a second to notice the fairies in the tree there. Death. This is, I think, the only other card. No, there's one more actually, but this is one of the like handful of cards. This is one of the handful of cards that I had actually seen before. And I love the Phoenix as death imagery a lot because it resonates a lot with the kind of emphasis I put on that meaning in the cards myself. We have Temperance. I like the balance of color in this one a lot. God, these cards are so intricate. We have the Devil. That's interesting. I like that one a lot, actually. Okay. And then the Tower. I don't know how I feel about this one. Just because like this whole thing feels like a tower, and I don't know how I feel about, it's more like, I don't know, I like my tower imagery a little more focused on just the tower and not necessarily a whole like city surrounding it. You can definitely have implications of like putting things into perspective, but it's just not quite as radical of a change as I like to see in my tower cards, but that's fine. The Star. And we've gotten through enough that I'm just assuming now that all the characters are gonna be pretty white and wave-like. We have the Moon and the Sun. We have Judgment. The World. brings us into our suits. So it looks like we're starting with the wands. Sorry, my AC just kicked in. Okay. Definitely got a little bit of, you know, red and orange and those fire kind of colors, so I wonder if that will continue throughout the suit. Got our Two of Wands. Our Three of Wands. I'd like to point something out to you guys too, in case you haven't noticed. The lighting here is the best that I've got for this, but it is kind of making, I mean, there is a bit of a gray sheen to the borders, but it's not quite necessarily as dark as it's looking here, like through the camera to me now. It's a little bit more, it really just kind of does depend on the angle. I feel like, anyway, so just a little note on the coloring. I really like that Three of Wands. The Four. Yeah, so there's definitely like a red and orange and yellow thing going on here, which I like. Five of Wands. Lots of foxes. I like that there's kind of a coherent animal, but that that's not like the whole suit is full of foxes either. Yeah, I like this one. There's so much to unpack in all of these pictures. Got a Nine of Wands. And honestly, my eyes almost don't know where to look. There's just so much going on, which is a good thing or a bad thing, depending on, you know, who you are and your preferences and what you like to read. I personally like it. We have our Ten of Wands, and this should be the last one that I've actually seen before. And so this woman is a tree supporting the city. Page of Wands. More foxes about her. Some kind of goblin-y looking thing playing, I don't know, a lute or something with her. It's really pretty. I like that one a lot. Knight of Wands. I love whatever this creature is. We have our Queen of Wands. I love how like musically inclined the two women in this suit are. That's so great. And then we have the King of Wands. I'm not a big fan of the like tattooing going on there, but that's okay. A small price to pay for the rest of the imagery. Alright, and then we're moving into the cups. I like that Two of Cups a lot. Almost looks like that could be the Hierophant for the Hierophant. Three of Cups. Okay, so yeah, lots more like blue and sea, you know, got like mermaid creatures going on now. So for the water, so I assume, and I feel like I kind of remember hearing that this deck was very intentional about the color choices in terms of the suits, which I like a lot as like a subtle nod to the elements. I like that one a lot too. I like this one a lot actually, as a Four of Cups. We have our 5. Our 6 of Cups. It's cute. This definitely has more of a feeling of like childhood than some of my other decks. I feel like their 6 of Cups more feels like about charitable giving and not so much like nostalgia and childhood, so I really like that one. We have our 7 of Cups. I love these tails like a lot. I love mermaids and water, everything, even though I'm like not a water sign. I've just always kind of loved the sea. And so many fishes. So it's a beautiful image. I don't know how I feel about it as a 10 of Cups, but that's okay. I'm not gonna like every single card in every single deck. And it may just be that I need more time to connect with it, obviously. Page of Cups. Yeah, on the whole, I really love the imagery and definitely love the detail. Our Knight, I'm gonna get my finger out of the way. Queen. Oh my god, it took me a second. I was trying to, maybe it's also because I'm looking through the camera, but that she's actually walking on the turtle's backs. Wow, okay. You probably got that. I did not. But again, there's a lot to see in all of these, as you can see. Great. What suit do we have next? The swords. All right, so we've got my favorite, purple. Two of Swords. The Three of Swords, man. It's pretty gut-wrenching. Five of Swords. Six of Swords. Seven. Eight of Swords. I don't know how much I liked this card as far as the symbolism. I think normally one of my favorite things about the Eight of Swords is that the way out is there and you're just kind of blinded to it. This feels like a lot more genuine, just genuinely trapped. Nine of Swords. Ten of Swords. I love most of these cards, but I feel like I'm not connecting as much to the sword suit as a whole. And our knight. And of course, lots of, birds and butterflies and things of like. To go hand in hand with the air element. And then this is, that one from the cover, the Queen of Swords. I really love the watercoloring. All right, and that leaves us with the Pentacles. It looks so grouchy. I like this one. And obviously we've got the green going on in this suit. That's so cute. Interesting. Oh, I like that one a lot. Could do without some of these tribal looking tattoos, but that's alright. And our Eight of Pentacles. This is one of those cards that follows me hardcore. But I don't know if it will in this deck because I just don't get the same feeling from it. Although I do love it, and I love spiders, so. We have our Nine of Pentacles. last court cards. We've got our page. All these faces down in here, a little scary one. I dig it. The Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. And finally, oh god, I keep bumping my tripod. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't have a lot of working room back here. This dragon down here looks like it's dying or about to puke. This card's kind of weird for me. I don't know what it is. Alright, so right now I would give these cards personally maybe like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. They're really beautiful. Not an instant favorite for me like some other decks have been, most notably and most recently the Luna Soul Tarot, but I'm definitely excited to use them. I'm gonna see. I really would like to be able to shuffle them a bit in front of you guys, but again, I don't really have a lot of room, but I do kind of want to give you a little bit of reference for like what the card stock is like, and I know that that is hard to kind of translate over such a visual medium, but pretty standard quality cardstock. I'm gonna do a little bit more ferocious shuffling and then kind of pull a card to see what this deck wants to tell me as a first hello. All right, cards have been nice and shuffled. They glide so easily, you guys. Did you see that? I'm not gonna start off with any big philosophical questions or anything. I'm just kind of looking for what do you want me to know types of questions, just to keep it nice and simple for the first draw. Unpopular opinion, death is one of my favorite cards. It is also wildly appropriate for something going on in my personal life right now, as far as big endings and change. So pretty spot on, I will give it that. And, you know, can't hurt as a sign that one of my favorite cards is the first one that I pull with this deck. So cool. Try not to keep it too long. That is the Shadowscapes Tarot, you guys. I like it. I love a lot of the images. Some of them I could pass on, but I'm definitely excited to get to know this bad girl a little better and readings with her. Yeah, very slidey. I just can't ever pick up the bottom cards when I'm on straight like that because of my nails. That's fine. Yeah, so Shadowscapes Tarot, let me know what you think. Let me know if there are any other decks that you have in mind. Recommendations, requests, feedback, all that good stuff. Obviously, comments below. On Instagram at Bujo Witchcraft. You can email me at yuritsathewitch@gmail.com or comment on the blog at bujowitchcraft.com. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Mean it.